no objections to it. But as I said, there's not one of your pictures is in it, so don't worry about it. It's not you guys. And if you don't want to be heard, just don't talk. That's it. We're ready to go. This is it. You've got your tools, you've got bits and pieces. So like the way I do all of my stuff, I'm just going to charge through, do all these things, and then you can do it. But guarantee you'll get it. So this one, we're going to do layers. This will be the circles. Oops. So the red circles, this guy in here, we'll blow him up a bit. There's a way to draw a circle, and it's really important. We're trying to make things into groups, like into solid shapes, but sometimes we're using lines to draw them. So this circle here, super, super important. Circle tool. There's a button. Remember, guys, there's about 10 ways to do every single thing. So sometimes you can do them slightly different, but this is just one way to do stuff. This is a really helpful thing. If you hold shift down because you want a perfect circle, while you're holding shift down, if you hit your space bar, you can move the circle, let go of shift, come back up. So it's a good way to get it, the circle in the right spot. I'm going to guess that circle in the middle. I'm going to make the fill of that circle none, and I'm going to push the stroke out to be 12, I think it is. 12 is good. I want a line to go through the middle, so I'm just going to click on the line tool, go from there. It's going to be a 12-point black stroke because it's the last thing I did, and that's it. You could just do that's done and change it to red and everyone would be happy, but it's not what we want to do. We want to merge this into a shape so it becomes one shape. The way you go about that is, this is really, really important. Everybody got it, guaranteed, but don't, it's really simple. You can't merge, you got it. So if I've got, I'll show you what I mean. I've got a rectangle there, and this is the basis of a lot of drawing. And I've got this guy here. I've got a stroke there and I've got a rectangle. They look exactly the same, okay? They look identical. I've got another stroke there and I've got a box there. They still look the same, but this guy has got, that's a square, that's a square, that's a stroke, that's a stroke. If I want to make this one shape, I select both of those objects and over in Pathfinder, over in Pathfinder, I'm going to go, this Pathfinder here, this one, you're going to use this all day, so you'll get good at it. I'm going to say unite, and that's going to make it into one shape. That's good. So I can put gradients and do all sorts of stuff in there. That's now just one whole shape. This guy, because there's strokes, if I say, if I merge that into a shape, it'll go weird and it just won't do it. So you can't merge a stroke into a shape. What you have to do, and this you've got to expand those strokes. So if I go expand and just go okay to this one, let's turn that into a shape, and then in Pathfinder I can merge it together. So that's how this is done. So these guys here are strokes. I've just got to go object expand, just go okay. It's still two different shapes, and merge them together in Pathfinder, and that's it. As dumb, as simple as that is, it's just good practice on how to do that, because there's a big chance that when you guys work, you're going to be freelancing, not full-time, the way the world's going, which is a good thing. I did it for like 12 years. I love it. But you want to try and do things right. You can do things that will get away with it, but if somebody comes on to this job later on and they say, I want those to be orange or green, you can just make them a colour. You don't have to click on two things to change the colour. They're just one continuous shape. You can do gradients. You can do all sorts. So that's all it is. So the next, all I did, I'll just do it again. I just drew a circle straight up. I just held shift down. Or other way you can do it, if you know where your center is, which is about there, shift is a perfect circle, option, and everyone that's on a PC, option is just alt, okay? So just remember that one. I'm going to talk about option the whole day, but you just mean alt. So if I draw from the center, shift is a perfect circle, option is coming out from its own center, and just do that one. So I'll just nudge it across a bit. So that's pretty good. So all I've done is just drawn a circle. I'll just get that right. I've just made that 12. And I've drawn another. You can do a line. You can use the pen tool. It's no different. I could have gone from there to there with the pen tool. So exactly the same. That's the same as doing a line. It's no different. That's it. So all I want to do is get these guys and just put them in the right spot and just go object expand. Yep. And then Pathfinder. That's it. This is the bit. I'm going to get everyone to do this, and it's funny. This is a bit that your people, it's just tricky, but you're going to do it 100 times a day. It's copying in Illustrator and InDesign's the same, and After Effects is the same. Right, this guy, this is the one, it'll drive you nutty, but that one, click on it with your mouse, but click on, it's got to be on something, so on the red, and as you drag across, hold shift down, and it comes in a straight line. And then while you've still got the right hand down and shift down, hold option down, and it's going to say duplicate. So when I get to there, when I let go of my right hand, it'll duplicate. And if I go Command D, it'll do the last things that I just did. You awake, Alistair? Maybe you're going to yawn that big, turn your camera off. So you're just going to swallow us up. So this one, click on these guys, shift down is a straight line, option is duplicate, and there. And Command D is the last thing that you did. Just nudge that down a bit just to get that right. And that's it. So they're all the circles done. Lock them off. New layer. These are the white circles. So everyone's going to watch this. This is easy, takes 2 seconds. So the white circles just have to bleed behind the red ones. So do another circle. Hold shift down. This doesn't have to be great as long as it's behind the red. So that's it there. This is going to be a white circle. No stroke. So remember what I said, click on it just as you're coming across, shift is a straight line, options, that's that one. Command D does the last things that you did. So come back, that one, shift down, Command D, the last one, that's good. So I'm going to drag these guys under the red, so that's it, we're ready to go. So they're all done. I can lock them off, turn them off. That's all good, happy with that?
Yep.
Yep, thanks. So this one, there's about 20 ways to draw everything. We're just going to you'll just get good at it. Right, I'm going to do the face now. New layer. This is the content or whatever you want to call it. Don't draw one of these on every layer. A couple of people did that. You just don't have to. Just do all the black stuff on one layer. Right, all different ways to do this. I'm going to click on the circle. I'm just going to go hold shift down, little space bar, move him around. I'm happy with that. Flip it around, that's going to be black. Slightly a bit thicker. 2 point will do. Right, that's it. I want to do the mouth now. What I'm going to do here, this is just, it's all about option shift. That's all we're doing. So this one, I'm going to duplicate that one up, and shift is in a straight line. So there's another bit of mouth. I'm going to hold the side of that and just pull this bit in a bit, pull that one in a bit. So it's about the same as the mouth. Under this, there's a scissor tool. I'm going to cut that there and there. And with that one, I'm going to get rid of the top. I'll come back and do this over and over again. The eyes are just eyes straight up. So literally just draw an oval. So that one, option shift across, that's it. This next one, select all of that head, option shift that across to here. And this one, I'm going to get the mouth. You can see how everything's just, as I said, if you're on an hourly rate, do everything one at a time. But if not, you just keep copying stuff. Select the mouth. Most of this stuff you know how to do. You did it the other day. Put your cursor there, hold shift down, spin it around. The mouth isn't exactly right. It's probably not the best proportion, so I'm going to delete that one. Just go to my standard pen tool, come to here and just draw a mouth. That'll get me that just as easy. So stop that to drawing. Remember when I turn all these reds and stuff back on again, it's going to be fine. Another thing, this stroke here, all this stuff will go over again and again, but in the stroke palette, see it's got a square end on it. Click on that one. Under stroke, you can put a cap on it, and it's just made that round. That's really helpful for when you're doing this kind of stuff. Oops. Not that stuff, this one. So you can see that. See there's really pointy bits down here. If I put that one, that curves those. So that will square the end. That's rounded the end there. That's the cap for the end. And this here is a round point. That's a square point, and that's a pointy point. There's no correct one. There's just different ways to do stuff. Right, the next one, I'm going to do all these, and you'll be all over it. I'm going to turn my white off because I can't see in the red. You know how to draw this one, I believe. So this one, I'm going to show you a different way to draw this. So just draw half of the heart. You'll be good at this now. So come down to here, see it's snapping into the middle to go, hey, I'm in line with the top of it. Go to there, go up to there, flip it around, that's it. So this guy, you want to flip this one around. So on your tool palette, there's rotate. Hold rotate down to reflect. Double click on reflect tool and it will be set at vertical 90 degrees. You want a copy of that and it will just copy a heart. So copy that heart across, holding shift down. So that one and that one, I'm going to merge together using Pathfinder, which is there. So all the cards and everything you've done for me, you could have just done. You only really ever draw half of the shape and flip it around. You rarely draw a whole shape. Like this one's just squares. This is just option, option, option. It's really easy. Remember, this is a pretty shitty image that you're copying, but 99% of the times it will be. It's why you're copying stuff. That's why. So you just got to learn to live with where they line up and where they don't. So this guy here, I'm just going to draw one box. That's a black box. So this one, I'm going to go option, not shift because it's not a straight line. Option, just snap it down to there. Option to here. Just keep coming down. All I'm doing is holding option down. And you can see I've got two arrows, letting go of the mouse hand. Click on it, dragging. While you're dragging it, get option. So come down. I might get all those guys while I'm at it. Option shift across because that one's shift because it's a straight line. These are a bit out of whack, but we can live with that. So that one. So option down. This is all just, that's a wider one. That's a wider one. Option, that's a little one. You'd say all your boxes are exactly the same. Option, there's another one. I want one more. Option, we'll spin it around. So it's just, I'm going to do this 100 times today. Just option, spin, option, copy, option, shift, da, da, da. It's all about using the same tools. So that's good. That one's done. I'm going to select all that stuff. See, there's all different shapes there. Just for good kind of practice, merge that into one shape. So that same again, that's just one shape. You can do whatever you want with that one. Okay, so that's good. That's just boxes copying down. This bad boy, this is just drawing. You know how to do all of this. You could do it different ways. I'm going to draw that. Let's come up about there, about there. Just we're going to copy this guy down. Option down. I'm just going to draw a bar for the middle. Come across to there. That looks about right. I might just use my direct selection tool and move this bottom one in a tiny bit. So it's got a bit of an angle. I'm just going to do an oval. It's just using shapes. I love this program. I really like it. So that's just a shape. That sits about there. So all of those guys, that looks all right there. But if you want to do it properly, just select everything and just use Pathfinder and merge it together. The Pathfinder I'm getting over here is in the Properties palette. The other one is Pathfinder here, which is Window. It's just that one. It's just that one there. That was that guy. This one's really easy. It's just boxes and boxes and boxes. So I'm going to draw a little rectangle there. Using the same, don't ever draw two rectangles because they might be different sizes. So this guy, I'm just going to grab it. Option shift down. Options to duplicate. Shifts the same line. And Command D does the last things that you did before. So there's that one. I'm going to get all of those. I'm going to get option shift across to there. I know that that's in the right spot, so I'm going to option shift a little guy. So shift option the little one across to there, which means so the height doesn't go. So it means it's in the right spot vertically. Just pull the bottom of that guy out. Option shift that one down. And Command D does the last things that you did. So we'll move him down a bit, or that one. We'll move that down a bit. Another thing I'll show you later on is how to get that one, and that one. And up here you've got dividing spaces, vertical distribute center. I'll do that a bit later on. There's that one. That's just boxes. That's all it is. This one's a bit tricky. People had trouble drawing this, but just there's 20 ways to do this thing. I would just use the pen tool. I would just do one of these. That looks about right. Come down. I only do half because we're going to flip it over. That looks all right. Just use the normal pen tool. Come from here. Flip that guy around. That'd be good enough. If you wanted to do it exactly right, just make that one a little bit thicker. Say 2 point. Object. I want to merge it all together as one shape. So I'm going to expand the stroke I did and then select that one and the shape that I drew previously and just merge it into one shape. Or I could do this all different ways. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to reflect this tool, 90 degrees vertical, copy it across. And that one is that one. I can then get those two and I can merge it together. It's just shapes and merging and copying. It's all you're doing. This guy here, it's pretty straightforward. There's just tricks to all of this. The outside one's got rounded corners on it. Round corners, pull the corners in. These are a bit down the track, so we've done quite a bit. Then, so there's that one. The middle one's got square corners. I'm going to draw a square box in there. So that square box, say, is pink, for example. And the outside one is orange. So the one, that one and that one, you've done this so far. You've been merging stuff together. We don't want merge. We want the one next to it, which is minus front. That'll just knock the front out. It's in Pathfinder. It's up here. Pathfinder, it's that guy there. There's a shape that's going to go there. Just draw a square. Really simple. If you want to be super technical, you can, with the direct selection tool, grab just the top circles, slightly bring those in. So that one and that one, merge them together. It's just merging, merging, merging. It's all we're doing. So this circle here, I'm going to just draw a circle for the lens. So he'll be about there. Flip it around, make it thicker. And there's another little flashlight thing there. So just do a little square there. Flip those around. That's it. If you want to be really anal, you can turn that into a shape. Object, expand that into a shape. You can select all of your camera pieces and you can merge them into one shape. So that's just one good shape. Now you can just do whatever you want with that now. Last one, and I'll go back and do these again really slowly, one at a time with people. This dog is a similar way. You could do this 20 different ways, but I'm going to do it using boxes. So this one, I'm just going to do his tail. Grab his tail. Grab the corners there. You know that one. That makes his tail round. Option that down, not shift because it's not a straight line. Spin that around. Put his leg there. Thicken up his leg a bit. This one is optioned for that one. Shift across for that leg. That looks all right. I'm going to draw a box now for this guy. So I'm going to go from there out to there. And with this thing, this is probably the last thing we'll do for a little while. Under the pen tool, you've got add an anchor point. I'm going to add an anchor right where his neck is. I'm going to grab, this is all with the direct selection tool. So clicking on the edge of it, I'm going to grab the white one, holding shift down, move it down. So that's looking pretty dog-like. I'm going to flip that around. So all those ones are going to be filled black. And then I'm going to merge them together. That's going to weird out a bit. I'm just going to pull that out so it's the same distance as his leg. Get all those ones, merge them together into one shape. I wouldn't muck around with the head. I would just draw that. By the time you did all the cutting and pasting and merging, you may as well just draw that. Draw that. We'll do the type a bit later on. So this one, I may as well do the type now. I'm on a roll. So that stuff, and it doesn't take long before you've got all this drawn. This is just type. Click on the text tool. Just click once. You have a text layer, but EQUILIBRR. If this is just Helvetica or Myriad or Arial, they all seem to work for now. So muck around with that stuff. I'm happy with that. If you just get that, we'll play around with that a bit later on. And that's just white, or that's just standard. We'll do the type a little bit later on. This text here is the same. Just click once and film by. And just remember, you can make that white. You can select text and just make that part white. We'll do a lot more with type later on, but just for now. So that'll go into there. Next one. These are just black lines. You can either do the pen tool, but use the line tool. Just click on the line tool. Click on that one. Hold shift down. Just draw that across to there. That's just a black line straight up. Do a little bit thicker. It's an orange line, black line. Don't do another line because it might be the wrong depth. So grab that one. Option shift that down to here. So as you're dragging it, Shift is a straight line, Options duplicate, and Options that one. You know that text is quite similar to what's below, so Options shift that down. And then just the rest of it. So all that text, you can go to the text tool over here. You can make it smaller or bigger or stretch it up. Doesn't matter how you get there. And just remember when you get to this stuff, so the Christian Bale can be white and the other text can be black. Then when you're done, last thing, lock that layer off. We're going to have a new layer. This layer is the background. Just draw a big box. Just literally eyedrop. So flip it around, eyedrop what's behind it. That's the background. That's the background. Drag the background underneath everything else. And that, then get rid of that one. And then what I'm gonna do, everyone's gonna be doing this, and you're gonna say, Nicholas is gonna say, I'm done. Bit close, Alistair. All done. And I'm gonna say, show us your screen, and then I'm going to say do Command Y, and I'm going to check that you've done this correctly, that you've done it as circles and lines, and all these have been merged together. You can see I haven't merged those ones together, so I'm going to lock everything off except for the content, select all my film, and go to Pathfinder and just say merge together, and that's just one shape now. It's not wrong the way I did it before, but I can just click on one of those little elements there and make it a color. I don't have to click on all of them. Well, I'm going to stop recording and then say any questions. And if you say I wasn't sharing my screen, I'm going to die.